Hey, Glenn.
Hey, Ben.
We are live.
Live. Hi, everyone.
Super live. All right. So welcome back to our second live Q&A in this format. The show that was so fun, we decided to do it every week. How are you? How was your week, man? I literally don't think that I've talked to you since last Thursday.
No, I don't think we have talked since last Thursday.
Good. How you been?
Good.
That's not true. We recorded like 4 hours of podcasts on Monday.
You're right. Yeah, now that you mention it. Yeah, so we have talked for hours and hours and hours. I don't know how we forgot.
Sarah says, hi, guys.
Hey, Sarah.
I got to switch that's why I need to switch it to the default. Okay, cool. All right. Sorry. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, tell us where you're watching from. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments and we'll try to get to as many as we can in the half hour. We have about 30 people watching right now across different platforms, which is awesome. Thank you guys so much. Say hey, say how you found the show. Glenn, you have a question that you would like to ask everybody first.
Yes. What should we name this show? Yeah. We don't have a name. We just throw up Ask a Life Coach.
Yeah, that's not a name for a show.
No,
this is just a live Q&A.
Yeah, so I was thinking about it, and I thought Ask a Wicked Good Life Coach because I'm from Massachusetts.
But I thought no.
Yeah, you thought you called me a vicious name, which was nice.
San Clemente, California. Very nice. All right, so I asked some questions to sort of get us started while people are coming in. I asked some people for some questions and some listeners. So here's one. I have a really comfortable job right now, but my job description has changed due to coronavirus, and I've been treated more like a personal assistant. I realize that I really do want another job following what I actually went to school for, but I'm afraid to take the leap right now. I have something really comfortable, and it's a job that really needs me right now. How can I take care of the business that I'm in and ethically look for another job?
Just look for another job. Don't tell them. I mean, thank you. Good night. No, I mean, really, I mean, for the most part, it kind of is that easy. I mean, we don't, there's this thing called loyalty that people have morphed into something that it was never supposed to be, And I mean, like as a general rule, like an employment contract it goes two ways. It's like they agree to give you a certain amount of money and you agree to do certain tasks to the best of your ability. Usually those are somewhat outlined in exchange for that money. So and it's negotiable at any time. It's that we have the ability to end it at any time. Do you want to be considerate of employers and other people? Always. I mean, but I'm not going to live my life because I have a job that's not really fulfilling me. I mean, I think if you really distance yourself from this illusionary loyalty mentality and just kind of go like, okay, what's the deal? So for you either have to go look for a job that's going to fulfill you on your own time, which many people do daily. Nothing wrong with that. And then give them proper notice when you find something and be courteous and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Or what's the other option? You suffer in a job that you don't like for the next 40 years.
Right.
So I mean, when you kind of really look at it, it would not be fair to yourself to suffer in a job that you don't like, And I mean, I think this is I'm going to throw this out there because it's a broad mentality that I think can be applied here in a lot of other situations. So the mentality is that there is somebody who finds joy in just about every job out there. And I say just about because if there isn't anybody that can find joy in it, we'll just find another way to do it where they can find joy in accomplishing the task. We're a very creative species. So like, when if you're in a job that you don't like, basically you're not fulfilling your soul. You're not becoming more of yourself. You're not living the life that you were supposed to be living. And you're actually blocking somebody else from living the life that they should be living, because somebody else would really be fulfilled doing that job that you're doing that you don't like. So, move over, man. Let somebody else come in and fulfill themselves by doing the job that you're doing that you don't like.
That makes a lot of sense. It's
good.
But so what about the coronavirus of it all? So is there any difference in it? The fact that, it's a secure job, it's a comfortable position right now with the pandemic, and jobs are hard to come by, and the economy's bad, and it might be scary for a really long time, and all of this
fear-based crap,
peripheral stuff.
So
yeah,
I mean, there's nothing, God gave us a brain so we can use it, so I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking all that stuff into consideration. And quite like, it's funny, but very, very often when I start working with clients, here's a big shock. Many people don't like their jobs.
Right.
Very often when I start working with clients, one of the first things they want to do is leave their job. And when we look at it closely, we find that for somebody doing self-work, now I don't know if this person is focused on doing self-work or not, but I want to throw this out there anyway. So like, people who are doing self-work, having a job that is kind of easy, or they're comfortable doing it, there's a norm, they know the people, they can, there's not a lot of brain power, effort, and struggle trying to accomplish this. It's not this big thing. It really opens up space to work on yourself. So so I'll try to take that mentality and bring it into what may be more the case in this particular situation. If you're if you're in a weird situation with the coronavirus and stuff, and you don't particularly know exactly what you want to do, you haven't found your new job yet, hang on to the one you got. I mean, it's not, this is, when we're talking about jobs, you don't have to leave one before you get another one. You just stay where you are. And then when you find the next one that is going to be more fulfilling to you and more of what you want to do, well, then you leave. Coronavirus or no coronavirus. Again, depending on the people you're working for and the place that you're going to, communication is wonderful. In all kinds of situations, including this one. So like, you can, like, if you really care about the people that you're working for and you have a close connection with them, talk to them. Hey, can I help you find somebody to fulfill this position when I leave? Hey, how long would you need? I know you normally give 2 weeks. Would it benefit you if I gave you a month? And you can talk with in this situation, I would usually talk with a new job first, because that's the, hey, how long of a notice can I give my potential employer? I really want to be courteous to them. When you say that to a new employer, they're like, oh, this person wants to be courteous to their employer. That's a good quality to have with somebody that I'm hiring. So if you go to them and say, hey, I really want to be courteous to them, I know you guys need me to start working. What kind of leeway do you have? Can I give a 2-week notice? If they really needed me for a month, would that be possible, or would that not be possible? And then you can go to your new job and then offer, because you don't want to offer and then the new job not be able to give it to you because they need you. So
right.
Check first what your options are, and then but at the end of the day, I mean, we have to live our lives. Life will go on if, as much as somebody depends on you at a particular job, and that can vary tremendously depending on the job. I mean, it's not your business. You can't live for somebody else and expect to be happy.
Thank you, man. That was a very in-depth answer, and I loved it. The second question that I have is, normally I would be able to go out on dates and meet new people, but I can't right now. I'm in a relationship that's pretty good, but I don't know if I had the option, I wouldn't be dating other people right now. What do I do?
Huh?
Normally,
yeah. So
normally,
normally you could be dating.
Name idea. Ambrose knows.
There we go.
I like it. Normally I would be able to go out on dates and meet new people, but I can't right now because of the situation. I'm in a relationship right now that's pretty good, but I don't know if I had the options.
See, this is where I get lost. I could normally go be dating, but there's a COVID thing. Oh, and by the way, I'm in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, you shouldn't be out dating.
I think what the person is saying is, I think what he or she is saying is, like, I'm in a relationship, that's fine, but if I had the but I don't really have any other options right now. It's not like I can go out and meet other people.
Yeah.
So do I just stay in the I don't know what the rest of the question is. As far but I don't know if I had the other options, I wouldn't be dating other people I wouldn't be going out and trying to meet new people right now.
So I think the problem is that you're trying to find happiness within a relationship and you're scared to be alone. I think that's what it comes down to, because like you don't, like this is beautiful. I love these two questions. This isn't a job. This is a relationship. Those are two different things. When you have a job, it's good to look for another job when you already have one. When you're in a relationship, it's not good to look for another relationship when you're already in one. Okay. So that's the difference between jobs and relationships. So really, but that's the truth. So what you want to do is you just deal
that might be your quote of the day tomorrow.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, I want that on a billboard somewhere. That was so perfect. I saw that. I was like, this is priceless.
All right.
So yeah, to answer the question, what you need to do when you're in a relationship, what you need to do is deal with that relationship. Period. So if you're in a relationship and it's not working for you, then you need to get out of it, or you need to put work towards communication, so you can see if it works, or put effort to see if it can get better or something. If you haven't done that yet, if you have done that and it's just not a good relationship, then you should be out of it. Like, yeah. I mean, somebody just moved in next door to me.
Oh shit!
2 weeks ago. Why is that bad? But I don't know. People are renting apartments, so even if you live with somebody, you don't have to stay in a relationship just because of COVID.
Right. I was hoping that there was going to be a romantic story about the person that just moved in.
No, I don't.
But yeah, absolutely. So even if you live with somebody, actually, somebody asked that question last week. We talked about, well, they didn't exactly ask the question, but they talked about the difficulties of cohabitation when you're stuck with people right now.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're being civil or something, fine. But I mean, like let's say you're living together and you found out like the relationship isn't going to work. It's just not working. But you can still be civil to one another, and you don't feel like throwing somebody out in the middle of all this and they can't find a place or something. Fine. You guys want to live together for a few more months, just being civil together. I mean, we're in a unique situation. I get it, so there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but you don't have to go run out and be with somebody because you're not with somebody at that particular moment. I think I've had, it's an energy thing to me, it's an energy thing. So like, I think some people, if they're not engaged intellectually or emotionally in a relationship, they think that it's not tying them up energetically. And I think it is. Like, if you're in an unhealthy relationship and it's not severed, you haven't stepped away, you haven't done what it takes to get them out of your life yet, then you're still connected to them energetically, even if you're not emotionally or mentally. So that I've been asked out by a girl that was in a relationship. It was, oh no, it's been over. We haven't slept together in years. We're in separate rooms. We don't, and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but you're still in it. Like, you still live together. I'm not jumping into that. Do what you need to do to clean your side of the street and get your life in order. And then maybe I'll be interested in getting involved with you. But I'm not going to get involved with you before you've even done what it took to take care of the situation that you're presently in. You know? So yeah, just focus on the relationship that you're in. I think that's and manage that with kindness, with love, with courtesy, to the best of your ability, to its conclusion. And then you can worry about dating. Maybe this thing will be over by then.
And if you're not, so what if that person, because the question was vague, but it didn't seem like that was very serious. It didn't seem like that was a super serious relationship. So my question is, if you're not living with the person,
and end it. If you don't want to be in it, end it. Like, that's what I mean. Focus on the relationship. Do what it takes to bring that to its conclusion.
And the pandemic has nothing to do with that decision whatsoever. You would say, yeah,
absolutely nothing. And then the only other piece I could throw in for the other group of people out there, just a general dating question. Hey, now's not a bad time to really get to know somebody over video. Phone and video conversations,
sure,
without the awkward pressures of sex. And
I have a friend who is doing that and said that he's still meeting people on like Tinder, but he was like, my move now is we go for walks and we're like 10 feet apart from each other the whole time on a walk. But it's like, if you are taking a really long walk with somebody, you're just talking to them, and like, you're going to know by the time you loop back to get back to where you started if you want to go on another one. And I was like, that's cool. That's interesting.
There's definitely ways to do it,
Yeah. So here's another question that we got. How do you balance being newly divorced and having kids while and then being in a new relationship? So you're newly divorced and you have children with the person that you just got divorced with, but you are starting a new relationship with somebody else. How do you balance like the divorce, the kids, and a new significant other?
Tread lightly.
In which of the three directions?
All of them. No, I mean, it's like, I think, this could go so many different directions. It depends what they're having issues with, but I'll try to, kind of lightly touch on it. So like, if they're, because me, I try not to veer away from questions. So like, I mean, if you're having an issue with the ex, with the fact that you're dating, well, I mean, like, it's, you guys accept you're divorced, like the ex is going to have to get over it. Sorry, that's part of divorce. I mean, some people can do it nicely, some people can do it abruptly and rudely, and I mean, of course, if you have the opportunity, always try to be courteous, always try to be kind, always try to be reasonable, but you have to live your life. You know, you got divorced. If you're going to start dating, that's your prerogative. And if they don't like it, well, you know, they're going to have to work through that. That's their stuff. That's not your stuff. So that's one end. The kids, I don't think that there's a specific rule of conduct. When my son was younger, after my divorce, I decided not to introduce him to girls that I was dating. If I got into a relationship with somebody, then I introduced him. You know, all the years when he was younger, I think he met 2 girls, and that was after I had been dating them for several months. And, you know, I just didn't think he needed to meet. You know, when you're dating, it's getting to know somebody. If they're not going to be in his life, why does he need to, you know, possibly attach, not attach? But I really think the biggest thing is honesty, you know, like it's be honest. So no matter what you do, if you do introduce your kids to the person that you're dating, then be honest, you know, and just be like, hey, this is just what adults do. We just date. And it doesn't necessarily mean anything. We're just trying to figure out if we like each other and if we want to spend more and more time together. And it takes a while for adults to figure that out. So we're just going to, you know, something like that, or just don't introduce them. And, you know, there's no moral right or wrong. It's just whatever works for you. And then the last piece is the person you're dating. Again, honesty. You know, I think you got to be honest. I think you got to be honest, and, you know, of course, let them know about the kids and stuff. The only other piece of that I usually see come up is like what that parent's role is. That's something that you two and possibly the ex need to decide if it goes long term. You know, me, I was just like that. My son doesn't need another mother. He doesn't need a disciplinarian. If he disrespects you, you have the right to tell him, to call him on it, whether I'm there, whether I'm out of the room, whatever. Nobody has the right to disrespect another person, period. So if he disrespects you, you can call him on it. If there's any type of discipline or he's behaving in a poor way, you let me know and I'll deal with it. You know, because he's my son. I'm not bringing in another parent. That's just my that's what I believe in. Other people have, and depending on the age of the child and all that, other people have used different tactics that have worked well. That's just the one that I went with. Yeah. So there, I tried to touch on all 3 of the aspects.
For sure. Hey, Glenn. Hey there, Glenn. Their answer is acceptance. Make the best choices we can, don't we? Good luck with their journey. I don't think that's a question. I think they were just commenting on the last thing that you talked about.
Yeah, that's Lisa. I went to school with Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. Nice to meet you. I'm also Glenn's friend. I guess.
I'm Glenn's friend.
I am.
I'm Glenn's friend.
What if did you talk about treading lightly in the new relationship as far as like if you're still entangled in the old relationship a little bit? Like if you still have,
right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're divorced, you're divorced. So, I mean, as far as you dating, you know, again, like, I mean, it's the gamut is like forever wide on that. Like, you know, me and my ex, it was just, there was zero conversations happening about absolutely anything ever.
Yes.
So it was real simple, real cut and dry, you know. It wasn't discussed. You know, she tried to discuss it a couple times when she didn't like something or something, but I was like, I'm not discussing it. Right. But other people, if you have a good relationship and they go, you know, hey, do you mind that he doesn't call, he calls the new guy Bob instead of Dad because I'm Dad. Would you mind? Hey, yeah, well, that's a reasonable request. Would you mind maybe dating him on the weekends while I have the kids instead of while they're with you? And okay,
Right.
if you can do stuff like that, if you can work with your ex and make it convenient and make it easier for them, then I think you should do that, because that's called being a loving, kind person. But at the end of the day, you can't stop your life for what your ex did. That's why you got divorced. Like you don't owe them anything. You don't have to live your life for them. You do it out of love and courtesy whenever you can. But at the end of the day, it's your life, it's your decisions.
Right. That all makes a ton of sense. And our last question today, let me see, I got to pull it up, is about starting a business right now. So basically, it's very similar to the first one, actually. I have a comfortable job right now, but I've always wanted to start my business, and now was the time that I was planning on doing it. However, with the certain circumstances that we have now, including COVID-19, it's very uncertain, and I don't know if it's still a good time. Your thoughts?
I mean, again, it depends on the circumstances, of course. There are, like, if let's say in your state that hair salons are closed and they're not going to open for another month, then you probably don't want to open a hair salon today.
Right.
That's just common sense. So, I mean, aside from that type of stuff, even if you do want to open a hair salon, like, do what you can where you are. So when you're starting a business, generally there's all kinds of things that we can do. And a lot of times what people do is they wait until the perfect time. Okay, now it's a good time to open my business. Now I'm going to do the 300 things that it takes to open it. And it's like, no, just do all that stuff leading up to it. If you need to build a website, you can go on Wix for free and build your website in the background without anybody being able to see it, and work on that. If you want to design your business cards, do it. If you want to research how Google AdWorks works, do it. Just like there's so much to do to start a business, then do all that stuff. And as far as this situation, it depends on the business. A lot of times you could probably open it right now. I mean, there's a guy down the road that just bought one of the food trailers that I go to. And I mean, this dude opened 10 weeks ago. 10 weeks ago, he's blowing the doors off. He's doing great business. And right across the street, they're literally building a whole housing development. So, like, he's got the workers now, and he's going to have all the people moving in after. Like, I mean, this was genius. This is the best time for him to buy. He probably got a great deal on it.
Speaking of the best time, we have, I'm just going to throw this one in because it's very similar. But it's just talking about, is it too late? So she kind of encompasses everything that we've talked about on this episode. Thoughts on making a total life change at 55? Business, relationship, country I live in. Is it too late or too much of a risk? Or making a total life change at any time. I did it at 42. Is 55 too late to do everything else we talked about in this episode?
No. No. I mean, people are getting college degrees at 90 or 102. I mean, it's never too late. That's what brings life force through us, is living, following our passions, expressing ourselves. It's never too late, and the way, like, I'm 51, I look at it and I go, okay. And so 55 is close. So I look at it like my grandmother lived to 96 or 97. For me to hit 100 with technology and everything, completely feasible, taking care of myself physically, emotionally, spiritually, soaring past 100 is completely reasonable thought process. Of course, unless something whacked happens. But so, like, for me, I could live to 100. So I'm 51. I I have a whole nother block of everything that I've experienced up until today. I have another block of that. And I don't have to waste time learning how to speak or walk or feed myself or go to school for 12 years. I have all that knowledge already. So the amount that I can achieve in the next 40 or 50 years is mind blowing. And that wasn't a play with numbers. I didn't like do some magic trick and make stuff up. That's the facts. So like living to 100 is completely feasible. And if you're 55, you've got another 45 years to go. I mean, so make them the best yet. That's what I say. I mean, I can't wait for the next 50. The first 15, I was learning stuff. The next 20, I was a complete jackass. This 17, I was a parent. Like, I'm just getting started, man. So I'm pumped for the next stage. So absolutely not. It's not too late to start anything. I'm just starting what I kind of consider to be my life now, where I have freedom and my head on my shoulders for the first time in my life. So yeah, I'm pumped. I say, go do it.
I love it. I love everything you just said. I knew you were going to say it. When I saw her pop up, I was like, he's going to nail it. I know exactly what he's going to say. We've talked about this so many times. I'm so excited. I know you're going to talk about living to 100. I'm pumped. This is a great way to end it. So thank you very much, Deidre, and go do it. Go do whatever you want to do.
Absolutely. So, light it up.
Yeah.
And check out my new hat, everybody. You like it?
Yeah.
I made it.
Also, today is the last day to get this for only $35.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go sign up for that because there's tons of free stuff that comes along with it and tons of information, not only from me, but Dr. Gina. And I mean, you got a spiritual teacher, life coach, male, and a psychologist, PhD,
parenting expert,
female. And we're even in different countries. So you got really two different perspectives on a lot of things that are not only helpful during this difficult time, but it's going to benefit you in life moving forward. So yeah, grab that for $35 because today's the last day, I believe.
Absolutely. Hey, Margie, thank you for joining us again. Great attitude to have, Glenn. I completely agree, Glenn. Wonderful. And you make me feel better about being 32.
Yeah, you better.
Man, it's hard. 32.
Yeah, I remember when you were 28 and you were all whining. So you're doing
I was like, oh no.
Oh no, I'm gonna be 30. Yeah. My life's over.
Yeah, and 30 wasn't bad. 31 hit me.
Know what's funny about this question that we just answered at 55? I've gotten that question from people at just about every age. I've gotten that question people in their 30s. I've gotten it at people in their 20s. And everybody in their 50s is going, people in their 20s, what are they, idiots? No, they literally experience their experience in life. When they're 22, 25, they're like, oh, well, everybody else is doing what this isn't true, but they think everybody else has figured out what they're doing in their lives and I don't. So maybe it's too late.
We have no perspective of time. No one has any perspective of what time is.
I was 8 years old and I decided not to play hockey. My father was asking me if I wanted to play hockey because I was playing some pond hockey. And he's like, do you want to start playing hockey? And I was like, no, all the kids I know started skating at 4. I'm 8. I'm all washed up. I missed the boat. So I was thinking that at 8.
Yeah. Yeah, so, that's the exact same reason why I didn't sign up for Little League, because I didn't play T-ball, and by like 4th grade, I was like, I can't play baseball. Everybody else has been playing baseball since they were 3.
Right.
So I never signed up for any of those sports teams until high school when I played football. Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. Football was the one that I did since I was little, so I was like, oh, that's the one I can do. But I really wanted to play baseball or basketball, and I never did because I wasn't one of those kids that did it, like, as a preschooler.
Right. It's our perspectives that guide it. So don't let that, it's a version of fear. So don't let that fear let love run your life, not fear.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for asking your questions. I just want to let everybody know that there is a weekly Q&A show also that we do where we take a deep dive into one question that you ask. So send those in to glenn@glennambrose.com, and you can sign up for the mailing list at glennambrose.com. And you get that every single Friday. It's called Ask Glenn Anything. And we do need a name for this show. So far, you have Ask a Wicked Good Life Coach, which I disagree with and veto if I can. And Ambrose Knows, which I think is better than Wicked Good Life Coach. If it's gonna be Wicked Good Life Coach, it's gotta have an A at the end.
How about like Ambrose Knows Wicked
Hey,
Good
sorry,
Stuff?
a hey. Ambrose Knows
Wicked Good Stuff. Hey.
Hey.
Yeah.
Can we throw in a Dunkin' in there somewhere?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get Dunkin' Donuts to sponsor us.
There you go. All right. Thanks, man.
All right. Thank you, Ben. And thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks, everybody, for asking the questions. We'll talk with you later.